Good evening, everyone. This is your Sunday start. I know a lot of you who wanted to see your precious Dr. Bob are going to be very disappointed, but I'm subbing in. He is currently at Binghamton mentoring his team there as of one of his company rocks. Oftentimes, Bob and I toss around what to talk about these Sunday starts, and so I had to come up with what we're to talk about in the last 10 minutes, and my 2 quick start is kicking in right now. Okay, but one of the things I actually thought that he should talk about this weekend or this week was that last Friday night, we were home after work, just lounging on the couch, and we happened to actually channel surf into a documentary about Pat Summitt. For those of you who don't know who Pat Summitt is or was, she was a women's head basketball coach, and she is the winningest coach in NCAA history, men's or women's. And I think she won over, I even looked it up, 1,098 wins. That's how many games she had. So anyway, we're watching this documentary, and I was just so moved and so impressed by how tough as nails she was. There was this famous story about how they had a game in a certain town, and they had a player on their team that was sort of grew up in this town, and everyone was pumped. The girl's family was going to come to the game. Her whole hometown was going to show up. But Pat had certain rules and certain standards that she set, and it turns out the player, broke curfew the night before that game, or she missed her curfew. And Pat's rule was if you missed curfew, you didn't play the game, or at least half. So Pat called up the girl, said, "Hey, I'm benching you." And the interviewer was asking Pat Summitt, "I can't believe you did that. And this is a huge game. The whole town was there." So many people were pissed at her for doing that because they thought it was like, come on, give it a break. It was a 10-minute break or whatever. And Pat Summitt said, I'm paraphrasing, but she said, "Those are my rules and those are my standards. And there's a consequence of breaking them, and everyone knew, and I have to follow my standards." And so I thought, after this we talked about cell phones a little bit, and I'm always harping on people about name tags and these little things, but the winningest coach, the most winningest coach in NCAA history had standards, and she refused to budge from the standards that she had set, and it led to a culture of winning. And when I see things like that in companies or organizations that seem so different from a dental office, those same rules still apply. We must have standards, and we have to hold people acceptable to those standards because it just makes them better, it makes us better as leaders, and ultimately it makes the whole company better, okay? So even though sometimes it come down hard about certain things and certain guidelines, ultimately it's because we want to create a culture of winning and focus and fulfill the vision of being the best team in town. Hope that sufficed. I hope I get a lot of thumbs up on the YouTube channel, a lot of shares. Have a great week.